Throw it in me, baby. Oh, that goes deep in the wrist.
No. Today we're going to be looking at a channel called GrayStillPlays. Specifically, I created a nuclear meltdown and then this happened. Oh boy. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Tyler Folse. I'm a nuclear engineer with a little over 10 years of experience in the commercial nuclear power industry. From engineering to operations to emergency response. I don't claim to know everything there is nuclear, but I can certainly share some knowledge. Let's see.
All right, we're checking out the only game where 5 minutes of training gives you an entire nuclear power plant to take care of. It's Nuclearis.
Nice, 5 minutes of training. So in real life, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission requires dozens of operators, technicians, and engineers, all with years of licensing and training. Getting my senior reactor operator license was a 2-year program. And part of that training involves using full nuclear plant simulators before you can ever operate the real reactor, not counting your under instruction watches. So yeah, nuclear engineers and nuclear reactor operators do play video games as part of their career.
Welcome to the power plant. If we look at it, there's an ominous blue glow, but nothing's blowing up. So that...
Hey, they got the glow right as far as it being blue. That's the Cherenkov radiation, and that means particles are moving faster than light and water. The restriction is you can't go faster than the speed of light in a vacuum, but you can go faster than it in water. Now, as far as in the operating reactor, I'm guessing we're at an outage or something, considering I'm guessing we're in an outage because the reactor vessel's disassembled and you can just see the pool right there.
That means things are going well. Nuclearis or Nuclearis, I don't know. It's a game all on its own. You are a one-man team set to...
Ooh, okay. So even with all the extensive training, you're not allowed to operate the reactor by yourself. A minimum crew complement at the plant I worked at involved 2 reactor operators in the control room, both licensed with reactor operator licenses, 1 senior reactor operator as their supervisor, and at the site, at least 1 shift manager over both reactors. This was a 2-unit site, but that's minimum. In practice, it's going to be more like 3 reactor operators and 2 supervisors per reactor, and 5 or 6 plant operators taking care of everything out in the field. So, just 1 person though. Hey, it's a video game. You need to make it harder, right?
Run an entire nuclear power plant. Obviously, our job is to find out exactly how far we can stress this thing.
That's right. If you can stress the reactor so hard you break your simulator, you win, right?
I'm not kidding by the 5 minutes of training. I went through a 5-minute tutorial. The thing is running. There is a lot of buttons and switches. Like
5-minute tutorial actually sounds like a pretty long tutorial for a video game. I'm kind of surprised they even made it that long. But it's interesting also, the control room appears to be right next to the reactor. That's not the case. The reactor is going to be in the reactor containment building, and the control room is going to be in a structure. At the plant I worked at, it was called the Electrical Auxiliary Building. And the reason is simply you don't want to be controlling the reactor in the same room, and that's under an accident scenario. You don't want to be subject to the effects of the accident. You want a nice thick containment wall between you and the accident.
I can tell you right now, this thing isn't even running at full power. Look at this right here. 70 watts.
70 watts? This board right here, you got scram, which is your reactor trip button, and then you got something for control rod speed, okay, and what looks like the shim switch for adjusting control rod height. Engine power, not sure what they mean by engine, because usually engines are associated with diesel backup generators. But 70 watts, man, 70 watts is going to be low for anything in nuclear power. A real reactor will generate upwards of 1,000 megawatts or 1 billion watts, and that's at the low end. The plant I worked at was a little over 3.8 billion watts. So not sure what this is referring to.
Low. In fact, the entire operational level is low. The pressurizer's over here making sounds. I'm sure it's fine.
Okay, so this is a pressurized water reactor, so actually similar to the plant that I worked at as far as design. And being at low power makes sense. I mean, after all, the reactor pool is open. There's no pressure vessel on it, and everything's decoupled. So Your pressurizer being at 365 degrees Celsius with the lid off. That's not good.
If you notice, nothing's in the red. When dials are in the red, that means you're dead. There's a lot...
Nah, even being in red, you might be outside of operating band, but that's going to be well below the failure point of anything. The idea is when you're in the red, you make an adjustment to get things back into the center or back in the green.
A lot of different sounds going on over here, so I'm going to start clicking on things and just see if it fixes stuff. Like, here's a vent valve. Let's just...
I have to say, everyone gets one thing where you just learn the simulator when you're doing your training, and to be fair, it's the simulator. Let people just click on things and figure it out that way for a bit. Mainly just find out where everything is what the exercise for that is.
Open that. There we go. What's the worst that could possibly happen?
Venting the pressurizer. Well, considering that the reactor itself doesn't have a lid on it, you should already be vented, so that shouldn't really do anything, unless what he was looking at earlier wasn't the reactor, and that was just, I don't know, somebody's swimming pool.
All right, see right there, the pressure gauge is going down. I don't know if that's good or not.
I mean, that's expected. You're venting your pressurizer. So, of course, again, if you were in an outage, you would already be depressurized, so that shouldn't really do anything.
Go ahead and stop that now. Oh, God! Oh, the fill level's fine again. I got this... Oh, no! Oh, hold on!
Huh. So at the plant I worked at, we never had an ominous red light show up everywhere. You will get alarms that'll get your attention, but I've never seen lights turn red like that.
Everyone, we're good. There's an alarm going on, but the lights went back to normal. That means everything is okay. I think there's something here where we can, acknowledge alarm. Yeah, I'm sure. It's fine.
Okay, nice. Yes. Be sure to acknowledge your alarm. Pull the enunciator response procedure and should tell you what it does. Or not, because this is a video game.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Stop the alarm. Everything is okay. The gauges are back in the green. That means everything is all right. You can chill out. Now, you'll notice right over here that we are currently giving off about 9403 kilowatts.
So that 9403 kilowatts, that's not very much. So, all right, but you have to be at least at power to be producing electricity, so maybe that thing wasn't the reactor. At least I hope it wasn't, because generally not a good idea to run a reactor without it being contained, without the reactor vessel head on top of it, but okay. A little over 9,000 kilowatts isn't much, though.
That is, as you might imagine, completely unacceptable.
I mean, it is over 9,000, but 9,000 of a smaller unit.
Get more power that goes into everything. That's
probably looking to withdraw control rods or raise turbine load. Let's see what this game says.
Going up pretty fast. We're already at 14, 15. Surveillance video. Oh. Ooh. On? Nice.
Yeah, that does look like it's supposed to be the reactor that does not have a head on it. Okay.
Camera? Oh, that's sweet. If there's one thing I love, it's an ominous green glow.
What? That looked like a bizarre alien pump.
Now, most of my training came from watching the show Chernobyl, so I know that...
Okay. Let's see if this video game's more accurate than the Chernobyl show. Not a high bar, but let's see.
The one thing you want to do is just increase power. Control rod speed, 25%. Unacceptable. Those are rookie numbers. Let's bring it up to, we're gonna start slow. All right, bring it up to 50. Yeah.
Weird it's showing watts on the control rod system. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Now, control rod speed being expressed as a percent, whether it's a percentage of full power or a percentage of full rod position, that makes more sense. And speed being the ramp rate at which you raise power, usually in per minute, so percentage of full out position per minute. It's a pretty coarse, pretty simplistic rod control system, but I can see that for the purpose of a video game.
Right there, 50%. Now that should be shooting up the energy generation. Let's see here, 14, very good.
You're going to need to raise turbine load, though. Really, he's just raising reactor power. You also need to raise how much load is on the turbine, which is actually making your electricity. When withdrawing control rods, all you're really doing is raising the amount of heat that your reactor's providing. But if you're not raising turbine load, that additional heat is just going to go to your steam dumps to your condenser. as in not on the grid.
I think the other thing that you can do is just, we'll just remove the control rod slightly, okay? You need a
Withdraw.
baseline before you start ripping stuff out of here, okay? So just, what do we got over here? Reactor core, 93 rod height.
Usually expressed in inches or centimeters, though probably inches, because 93 centimeters seems like pretty short rods.
Bring that down to, I don't know, let's bring it down to 85. What does that do? Set. There we are.
Bringing it down, that's going to lower power because you're inserting control rods.
All right, reactivity's looking good.
Okay, interesting, a reactivity meter like that. So reactivity is a real unit. When you're supercritical, power is going up. When you're subcritical, power is going down. And when you're critical, reactor power is the same. So they got that part right. Critical does not mean the reactor's about to explode or something.
Internal temperature's going up a little bit. Okay, the reactivity's getting kind of high.
Okay, so he is raising power. Control rods might be backwards in this game. I've never played it, so I don't actually know for as far as a gameplay perspective, but withdrawing control rods makes reactor power go up, inserting control rods makes reactor power go down. Because control rods absorb the neutrons, which slow down a fission reaction. And when you do this in real life, again, it's you, a peer checker, a supervisor, and everything is carefully and deliberately controlled. Reactor engineers also provide you with what the estimated rod heights are, and what the estimated turbine adjustments are, what the estimated boric acid adjustments, because boric acid is basically a liquid version of control rods. And the reason why you have both control rods and boric acid is to have a uniform power distribution throughout the core. Now, for a video game, I could see you doing without the boric acid stuff, just to make the gameplay simpler. But in reality, you're not just looking at overall power production, you're looking at hotspots within the core itself.
Reactivity is slowly starting to move into the red. The reactivity is possibly...
You usually don't see it in reactivity. You see it in a different unit called startup rate, and the units for startup rate is decades per minute. 1 decade per minute is power going up by a factor of 10 per minute. And at a commercial nuclear power plant, you're not going to want to go faster than 1. Now, a nuclear submarine, during a fast recovery startup, the limit is 9 decades per minute, which would be increasing reactor power by a factor of 1 billion within a minute. So yeah, those things are designed to start up fast.
Going to get me killed. Oh, okay, hold on. We can fix this. Let's
Does red just mean you failed the game or something?
that down to 90. Look at that. Look at that right there. We're fine. Everything is...
Yeah, that doesn't look good. Yellow probably means you're raising power at a controlled rate, and red probably means you're going a little too fast. In real life, there are reactor trips to prevent you from going too fast.
Okay. How's the monitors looking?
Well, let's see. Your reactor doesn't have a head on it. I don't know what room 2 looks like. Is that the warp core from Star Trek? Number 3, you got an alien pump. And number 4, you have that old screensaver from the 90s with the pipes on it.
I mean, nothing's blowing up yet. Bring it back to 93. All right, if that gets the alarm to turn off. Where's the alarm switch? I haven't decided to blow everything up quite yet. Where I'm going with this is that while all this is here, there's like an entire facility that you can run around in. And then, of course, there's the
little hazmat suits and a little pods. And of course, this looks like some futuristic building here. Nah, it just looks like any old industrial building.
hazmat suit that we could use to live a little while longer when we end up blowing everything up. It's on the top level.
Nah, those are not blast resistant. Hazmat suits protect you from surface contamination and prevent you from spreading contamination, but not ionizing radiation and not explosions.
I have an operating assistant. Turn on. Command successful.
Operator.
Oh.
Vacuum pump must not run with return valve open.
Well, they actually put stuff in there like that, yes. Ensuring your pump has the right start permissives. Okay, that's cool they put that in the game.
Okay.
Close retention valve before proceeding. Otherwise, pump will work against backflow without establishing effective vacuum.
I don't know what any of that means. Can you?
Basically, it means your pump needs to have the proper flow path before starting it. I'm sure there's a startup procedure in the game that just says you need to have a suction path, you need to have a discharge path.
Can you go do that? The assistant is out of service. I love how there's just like a random robotic voice that's telling me about all the things that I'm doing incorrect. Okay.
AO assistant operator. I've seen AO as auxiliary operator, which is a plant operator, someone not in the control room. No, there's no robot. There's no omniscient robot voice real nuclear power plants, at least any that I've worked at.
Apparently everything is going wrong right now. Oh, this is cool. Ooh, valves.
Oh, so you go out and be a plant operator too. Interesting.
Do bypass. Sure. I want to know, don't you? What could possibly
You made it to the turbine building pretty fast.
go wrong? There we go. How's that? You okay? I don't hear anything. Everything seems all right.
Okay, so turbine bypass valve, that means now you're going to be sending steam to the condenser to the point where it's not going to be going to the turbine, which is typical during a startup. You're going to have the turbine bypass valves open, and they're gradually going to throttle close as you raise power and commit more steam to the turbine.
Again, nothing's blown up yet. Anytime I see buttons, I feel the absolute need to go over and press them. What's in the barrels? Does my Geiger counter see anything? Nope.
You have a Geiger counter with you too? Oh, man.
Fine, I guess. Kind of go down the stairs. Whoa! Hi!
Huh. Can't say I've ever encountered levitating robots at the nuclear plant before.
I think that's the automated assistant. Bro, do you really have to creep on me? You do that. I want to run this thing as long as possible until we go ahead and cause a gigantic explosion and kill everyone. Okay, this is a cool...
In real life, nuclear power plants, if it were to explode, contained in this reactor containment building. Unless, of course, they designed it like Chernobyl and just didn't give it a reactor containment building. Considering the reactor is apparently running without a lid on it, I'm not exactly confident in that design choice.
Area of the plant, danger alarm. The developer of the game got with me and they're like, yeah, it's a nuclear simulator. Do you want to play it? And I was like, I don't know if I'm qualified for this. He's like, you're fine. Uh-oh. Okay,
try
hold
it and
on.
see what happens.
We got issues. I'm coming back. I've been at it for like 10 minutes. Decontamination. Oh, sweet. It's the core.
Okay, so there is at least a lid, but it's the type of lid you use during outages. That's basically a glorified FME cover. FME being a foreign material exclusion to make sure nothing drifts and floats in there. The real reactor vessel head would be a lot bigger, thicker, and more robust, because that also acts as a reactor vessel pressure boundary, which is, for a pressurized water reactor, is well over 2200 psi. So yeah, this little thing right here doesn't look like it's rated for 2250 psi.
There's no Geiger going on in here. Can you jump into the core? I'm legitimately curious.
If on a reactor that is operating, you're already danger close. Hazmat suit or no hazmat suit. As far as the hazmat suit's concerned for protecting you from dose, you might as well be wearing a raincoat going into a volcano. That's not the hazard it's designed for. Also, good luck swimming in one.
Hold on.
Game over?
I'm sorry.
Is that your health meter up there? So normally radiation sickness takes a while. It's quite horrific, quite painful. But if you're going to be this close to something, to an operating reactor, yeah, you're not going to last long.
I had to do it. We're going to mess with the core in a second. You have drowned because you've been under
Oh, just drowned. Yeah, you're going to drown quick in a hazmat suit.
water for too long. You should avoid diving too long underwater. I'm not sure I died.
To be fair, drowning, the radiation might knock you out, but you're probably going to drown first. That part I think they got right.
In the water. I think I may have died from standing on top of the core. I really don't know.
This and that.
Any game that lets you just jump into the middle of the core is incredible to me. I don't know if these generators need to be on or whatever, so I'm just gonna go ahead and turn them on and hope it works. Primary circuit coolant flow speed.
Okay, RCP, so that's the reactor coolant pumps, and apparently these are variable speed pumps. The ones at the plant I worked at were not variable speed, they were single speed, just one constant speed, on or off, but yeah, theoretically you could design them to be variable speed.
Fast. Nice. Engine power. Yes. All the way.
Engine power is confusing to me. I've never heard, because this right here, at least this control board, is the rod control system. I've never heard any of that referred to as an engine. I mean, control rods are maintained and suspended. They use induction motors, but really it's a matter of on versus off, not power isn't really a critical parameter that you look at. And it's fail-safe. Like, if you lose power to the rod control systems, all the rods fall in, the reactor shuts down safe. Essentially the same thing as a scram or a reactor trip.
We didn't go far enough last time. I think that was the problem. I think we stopped at, whatever it was, like 50.
Maybe it means ramp rate as far as how fast you're moving the control rods, but you also have control rod speed as a percentage here as well. I guess percentage of maximum speed. Units I'm used to for that are going to be something like steps per minute, or inches per minute, or centimeters per minute, depending on what your units are, but it's a way of how fast the rods are moving relative to the top of the core.
Or something like that. You might as well. Why stop at 50? Just chug it all the way over there. How many watts can I pull out of this thing? 300? Oh!
You can apparently go over 100%. Yeah, that unit doesn't make any sense to me.
It goes past 100%. Why wouldn't you go past 100%? Obviously. Okay, at this point, is there a limit or does it matter? 200. 200% engine power. What's funny is everything seems absolutely fine. Like all of these numbers are still okay.
Well, you might have just set up your thing. You might not have actually started it yet. Like you might have just set a ramp rate. You still have to hit go. Or something.
How is that possible? What else can I increase the speed of? Flow speed. Give me all that. There we go. 100.
Flow.
Okay, very good.
Okay, that's gonna be, looks like he's in feed water and main steam, so he's just moving the secondary or non-nuclear part of the plant, which I think the worst thing you can do there is you might break a secondary pump by having it go fast, but you're at low power, so there's not really much of a suction source, so you might break some expensive pumps, but as far as causing a meltdown, that's not gonna do it.
Already at 100.
That's his goal.
Oh, things are starting to get out of whack. The RPMs are going down. Hold on, I know how to fix this. Come back over here to the control rods. Oh, bring these down to 60. There we go. That should do it. There's the reactivity. That's what I like to see.
Okay, yeah, rod controls definitely seems backwards in this game. Maybe they're referring to 0 as fully withdrawn, which is weird.
Oh, sweet energy. That's what I'm talking about.
Interesting, this plant apparently has 3 generators. That's a bit different. The plant I worked at just had one really big one that would accommodate over 1,400 megawatts. That's about the efficiency you're dealing with for a 3,800 megawatt thermal, about 1,400 megawatts electric. But there are plants that have had more than one generator, so that's not too weird as far as the design choices for this.
5,100. All right, stop with the alarms. Stop it. Yeah, I'm turning alarms off like.
Yeah, lights don't go angry red when an alarm goes off at the plant I worked at.
Every couple of seconds over here. Operation level. Excess. No. Nice. There's an area over
I have no idea what that's supposed to mean.
here called generator RPM raise.
Okay. They're mainly referring to the turbine rather than the actual generator part, but yeah, that's to raise speed, to get it up to the appropriate speed. Usually before you sync it on, those buttons shouldn't do anything if you're actually operating and producing electricity, but okay.
So I'm just like raising it as much as physically possible. Oh.
The reactor core has reached incredible
well, if temperature goes up, the reactor's going to shut itself down automatically on an over-temperature trip.
The reactor core temperature has exceeded the operating maximum.
I mean, I don't know. You can tell me it's exceeded the operating maximum, but it's still...
Emergency reactor is in danger. The operation of the plant is not safe. Well, time to trip the reactor.
Looks fine. The operation of the plant is not safe. Come on! It's gonna be fine. I'm just gonna go ahead. The plan has to work to 0 days without...
A lost time accident. So they're not doing good for personal safety here, in addition to nuclear safety.
A lost time incident. Accidents are avoidable. Not when GrayStillPlays is involved. I like how the accumulated energy went from here to here to here. The water temperature is 760. Oh.
Okay, so it does have a retractable blast door, if you will. Interesting. This is another reason why you shouldn't put your reactor right next to the control room.
The fuel is loaded, the coolant is flowing, the generator is generating energy. Do we have to have this blast door up? Can I not have this? I'd like to get a good look at the control room while everything's happening. Yeah, look at this. There's no radiation. We're fine. Stop. Oh.
The idea is things like that. Any safety system goes before you get in danger, and yeah, this is just silly.
Oh, never mind, there's totally radiation. I'm sorry. Okay, the blast door is going down for a moment. Oh, Lord.
Okay, into rontgens per hour. So a rontgen is close to a rem, which is a fairly big unit. This channel is called GrayStillPlays. A bunch of grays, 100 reds. I find that interesting. But yeah, this would be an extremely high dose rate that would actuate all of the control rooms, protective HVAC systems, and positive pressure to keep any contaminants out. Yet another reason why you wouldn't put your control room right next to the... Why you wouldn't put your control room essentially in the same structure as the reactor.
Injection potassium. Yeah, sure. I saw that in the film too. Throw it in me, baby. Oh, that goes deep in the wrist.
No. All right. So, potassium iodide. So that is designed to specifically protect you from a high dose of iodine-131, which is a highly radioactive but relatively short-lived fission product. And the emergency director can authorize potassium iodine tablets, taken orally. I've never heard of it going through a syringe, but I guess theoretically you could. But all it does is protect your thyroid from radioactive iodine. That is what it does. Doesn't protect you from any other fission products. And it doesn't do anything for exposure to an operating reactor and its neutron dose, which is anywhere from 5 to 20 times worse than any fission product. And it's taken before exposure. Taking this after exposure is the equivalent of swallowing sunscreen after you've gotten a sunburn. It does nothing. And it's probably more likely to just hurt you.
Okay, we're fine. Everything's okay.
Also, I'm pretty sure it just broke your wrist.
Everything is completely under control. Never mind, it's not under control at all. The radiation is like way inside of here. Okay, now the energy is going back up again, which is awesome. What does this button do? I'm pressing the
Yeah, you would have tripped the reactor about 100 different ways by now.
scram button just to see what happens. I'm still slowly dying from radiation. Was that Röntgen? Is that what that is? How many?
Yeah, Röntgens, and a Röntgen is about equivalent to a rad, at least in this sort of dose. However, if you're gonna be conservative, go ahead and multiply that number times 20 for its effectiveness on the human body. Also, you got it pegged high at 5 Röntgen per hour, so let's be conservative and say that's 100 rem per hour, where 1,000 is pretty much guaranteed to be a lethal dose. So, and this is maxed out, so we know 5 is like the minimum. Yeah, it's not good.
Is that? It says 5, but I think it's just because my my Geiger counter just like it ends there. That's just...
Yeah, okay. That part you're right, you maxed it out, so that's bad. And would you get dose rates that high if you're that close to the core with zero shielding whatsoever and the core is still operating? Oh yeah, which is why shielding exists. And there's multiple layers of shielding for an operating reactor. There's the containment building, the bioshield, which is the secondary shield that you're not allowed to go into while the reactor is operating. And then there's an additional primary shield over the reactor vessel, which apparently isn't fully there because you just have the small FME cover over it. And then there's the reactor cladding itself. So you have quite a few layers of shielding, but a lot of them aren't in this game.
High as it goes. What happens if I just stop the coolant speed? Like, what happens if I just do this? What does that do? Oh, the green blob of doom is slowly expanding.
Green blob of
Don't
doom?
mind me. I'm just gonna go ahead and bring this flow speed back up. More.
Really?
I'm gonna go ahead and open up the steam jet valves as much as
That secondary plant. You should already be divorced from the secondary systems at this point.
possible. I'm hearing a lot of new exciting sounds going on around me right now. How are the coolant towers looking? I mean, there's still
Maybe you should start that alien-looking pump. Maybe that's your safety injection pump. I don't know.
one piece. I mean, that's good, right?
The cooling towers are distantly on the secondary side of the plant. It's interesting. A lot of people associate those with the reactor. They have nothing to do with it.
Plan right now is to just move as much energy as possible just to see what happens. We're gonna try this again. I'm gonna go ahead and die of radiation.
Yeah, I guess So the green cloud is supposed to represent a crazy high radiation field. Well, it should be blue. And yeah, it doesn't have like a dome structure around it. It would go all through the water and out. It'd basically be a flash of blue light is what you would see.
a full-scale explosion, though. We're not there yet. I think I know what we need to do. I love that.
Really, your character wouldn't make it with radiation sickness before said explosion goes off. Then again, what would explode exactly? You already have the lid off the reactor, because I see the fuel assemblies there, so it must have got blown off while we weren't looking.
Now died from drowning, and now I will die from radiation poisoning as he screams in agony. New goal, to die in every way possible.
Yeah. Should avoid or wear a protective suit. A hazmat suit. So it had a respirator, so it's going to protect you from airborne radiation, but direct exposure to neutrons from an operating reactor, it's not going to do a thing.
Radioactivity has consumed you, and you have not
Consumed
survived.
you. Interesting.
All right, get ready. Flow speed, full speed, vacuum pump, off, control rods, 0, energy power, all of it. This is
0 means full
a
out.
true learning experience. I really enjoy it because, you know, I would not know how to explode a nuclear power plant without this game. Oh my God.
And you won't know it with this game either. This game is probably closer to Five Nights at Freddy's in a power plant than an actual operating plant, but okay.
67. Okay, hold on. We gotta grab a hazmat suit really fast. All right, just put that on for right now. Once I get outside, I'll take it off. If I can. All right, most of the control rods have melted at this point. Okay, we are in excess.
Yeah, that's not good.
Generator on. Water temperature's over 1,000 degrees Celsius. Heating power low. Oh, God.
That's a fair bit higher. Somehow he defeated all the safety systems.
Vent valve closed. Cooling valve closed. Operation mode, all of it. Thermal.
Maximum and minimum as far as operation modes. Maybe just, if you're going to give it just 3 modes, maybe power, operations, startup, and shutdown. Those should be your modes if you're going to make a simplified game.
Control, absolutely not. Let me see what we got on the surveillance videos over here.
Now you're making some steam.
Oh, uh-oh, that ain't good. Okay, hold on. We may die from this, but I need to see it. Like, we have to see it, you know what I mean? And then eventually I'll go outside. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Green miasma. Huh. Not a hazard I ever briefed for in a control room.
Okay, the hazmat suit is protecting us. We are okay. Oh, it's on fire. It is literally
It's on
burning.
fire.
Hold on.
And fuel will ignite when it gets above 2200 Celsius. Yeah, that is to say bulk cladding temperature. The fuel itself has even higher tolerances, but at that point you're calculating them by essentially an extrapolation because there's not a whole lot of temperature indicators that indicate that high. But
I already know what to do. I gotta get to it. Run. Run, Gray. There may not be enough time. This is your only opportunity. Not to save the world. To douse yourself in burning waste. Okay, open the blast doors. Sure, it's fine. Oh, yes. Okay. All right, let me just walk around this way.
in reality, containment would be fully isolated and you would not be able to open it during an accident. It's simply locked out.
Here, I can kind of dodge a lot of the radiation, all right? It's like playing dodgeball, only if you... Objective
accomplished.
Enter the reactor core containment building. Okay, that is awesome.
Maybe in the biblical sense of the word awesome, which meant terrifying.
I don't know how I'm still... Uh-oh.
Imminent explosion?
Meltdown. Start the...
Yeah, I'm surprised the lid just hasn't blown off already. Everything else is on fire.
Evacuation protocol. So...
Alright, so... Once again, at least with this game, it looks like they're mingling the words meltdown and explosion. So a meltdown is a thermal accident where fuel overheats. The real term is core damage or fuel damage. Reactors cannot explode like nuclear bombs. The physics are different. There's not enough energy in the system. Now what can explode is the reactor pressure vessel. It can overpressurize. And in the case of Chernobyl in real life, they didn't have a real containment building, so they blew the roof off of their facility due to an extreme steam buildup and a hydrogen explosion. Because the zircaloy and fuel cladding at extremely high temperatures will react with water to produce volatile amounts of hydrogen. Now, there are safety systems that prevent it, such as hydrogen recombiners. But meltdown, fuel damage, and reactor explosion are not the same thing. Take the 3 Mile Island accidents, for instance. They had melted pieces of core, but there was no explosion. The reactor containment building did its job. And a meltdown to an explosion is an out-of-control campfire versus a stick of dynamite.
The water is spraying out of the pipes. The fire is burning.
Nothing in an actual control room would tell you if there's an imminent explosion within 4 minutes or whatever, by the way. This is all just video game logic, which I can accept for a video game.
Obviously, we're going to have to jump into this in order to die from the fire. But then we're going to do the full...
You're not going to try to ride the explosion?
Reactor core explosion, because now for sure we can make this reactor core go completely insane. So, for science, here we go.
I was gonna say the fall might have got you first.
You received too many burns. Right,
Yeah.
we're doing it again. We're gonna go even crazier. Valves opened. Full. There, that'll spike the energy. Go over here. Engine power. All of it. All right, what are we at right now? 20. We can go higher. Come on. Those are rookie numbers. If we're gonna have an explosion, we might as well explode it all the way. Okay, coolant flow, none. No coolant. Absolutely not.
No
Turn the whole
coolant, huh?
thing off. There we go. Accumulated energy. Look at the spike.
Accumulated energy, I guess they're just measuring how many megawatt hours you're putting on the grid or something like that. You're not really going to see that in a control room. The shift manager might have it in their office for what the loads are being provided to each of the customers. For instance, the customers being the grid. Not really relevant to nuclear safety.
Oh, okay, there goes that. Let me go ahead and turn on the monitors so that we can see it. And then before the explosion, we're going to walk outside so that we can see it, like, you know, from outside, just to see what happens. Water temperature is a nice, clean 900.
Looks maxed out on your scale.
Heater off. Operation mode maximum. Oh, look.
Now you should turn all your heaters on, since apparently they have no safety interlocks, because I thought you wanted to melt some stuff.
At that. We've reached service compliance. That's our percent compliance is
Yeah, these graphs right here are more like grid key performance indicators or something. They're not really to do with operating a nuclear plant, especially because nuclear plants don't operate in terms of load follow. They're base load, meaning you're on for 18 to 24 months straight, and then you shut down for an outage.
100%. I don't know if I would call that compliant. Oh, okay. The fire's worse than it was the last time. I might have to get out of here.
That's
I might
an
have to
angry
get out of
fire.
here, like, now. Service compliance badge? I got a service compliance badge? How? I'm just gonna slow down. Can I
don't even know what to say about that.
like turn the coolant down completely? Oh, you can. You could just flat out turn it to 0. Coolant evaporated. Yes. Main
Coolant
steam
evaporated,
valve
yes.
control. I don't know. What happens if I put that all the way down? In general,
That's actually going to lower your power, because if you're going to lower your main steam flow.
whenever you're dealing with numbers like this, I always say you either want all the numbers or you want none of the numbers. Oh, it's like a different color in there now. Kind of like a nice steamy blue. That's hot. Okay, the fire is actually getting so bad that it's getting to the point where I can't see the room. Oh, real quick, before we go, can I? Oh, I was hoping I could stop the alarm that tells everyone they need to leave. There's something in here. I had no idea this was here. It was like a fuse box. Can I don't know what that does. I'm just gonna start pulling on
Might lose a lot of your screens if you do that.
cords. Yeah, yank that out. Open this. What is this? An item has been added to your inventory. Okay. Yeah, give me all this. Give me all the fuses. I'm just gonna rip them all out of here. Let me go ahead and turn that off.
All your screens are gonna go blank.
this. Main valve panel. Control panel fuses. Oh! I found another way to
Man, that is a really high voltage control power. Usually it's, what, 12 to 24 volts?
die. God, you gotta be kidding me. I got jump scared by the electrocution. I feel like I'm finding better and better ways to blow this place up every single time I do it. I've already got the coolant down to 0. I can probably put this down to 0 as well. Got the cameras going so that we can see exactly what happens
this is
from
just
here.
silly.
Control rods come out. Shove the control rods back in. I like to move
Putting them back in, I mean, that's going to shut you down.
the rods in and out, you understand. kind of slow and then fast.
You don't want to do it too much because then you're going to get a xenon spike.
What do you mean by that?
Secondary coolant
Xenon
speed,
spike.
that is a negative. Main steam control valves, absolutely not. What does that sound? Oh, that's everything immediately turning to steam and all of the different valves exploding. Very good. I like that the reactivity is like totally normal. Like it's absolutely average right now. Quite frankly, that's unacceptable. All right, closing vent valves, closing.
And that's the thing that puts you at the scenario where, which is ideal, which is perfectly critical, 100% power is what he doesn't want. All right.
Cooling valves. Actually, I'm kind of curious. What happens if I open them? I've always closed them. Why not do something different? What does that do? Oh, look at that. I'm a decent person. I'm bringing the temperatures back in line. How about that? Don't get me wrong. Everything is still burning.
Imagine that. Opening the cooling valve lowers temperature of something.
All right, boys and girls. We've got ourselves a core explosion imminent. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and chill out outside for this one. Well, hold on. Let me just take a look at the cameras real quick. Just want to see what's going on. Everything's on fire. Okay. Looks pretty much like I
green miasma
would have expected, I guess. Go ahead and head downstairs. I love that they give you an elevator that is literally big enough for one person that weighs less than 170 pounds. And you'll notice outside, no radiation. It's actually quite nice outside. You've got,
I mean, it should be a containment building, right?
Got the blue skies. You have the gigantic coolant. In imminent meltdown, start the evacuation protocol. Like the
They actually include evacuation in this game. Well, you're out of the building.
Rest of the town evacuating, or just me evacuating? Trying to
That's a
find
great
out
question.
where the best location is to.
In reality, you have your emergency plans and all of the run books, and you do a bunch of drills to know the answer to that. But for this game, who really knows?
Watch the reactor core explosion, because I'm pretty sure it's going to come from the main building over here. This building right here. There's a whole train and everything here, too. Still no radiation out here. That's good. Ooh, can I climb this? Oh, yeah. Hold on. We got it. Yes. Perfect. I'm right by the fuel tank. Oh, boy.
Probably for the emergency diesel generator.
Right to the edge over here. So hopefully I'm not caught up in the actual explosion that just, blows my body apart. I want to enjoy being irradiated again, super close to the exposed core. We have 45 seconds left, everyone. 45 seconds. Can I, let's see here. Oh yeah. You can remove the entire UI. That's all. There's a house up there. I mean, there was a house up there. It may not be.
Yeah, no one would have their house this close to a nuclear plant. There's going to be buffer zones. And there's a whole federal law about site criteria that has its rules and regulations on where you're allowed to build your nuclear plants, or where's the closest you can live to a nuclear plant.
Be there soon. All right. 5.
Let's see how this does.
3, 2, 1. Yeeties!
Blew the roof off just like Chernobyl. Okay, so they didn't have a real containment building, did they? Didn't get hit by that roof shrapnel?
Happy New Year! Oh, that's some fire right there. Oh, yeah. You got
angry fire opening up a portal to the netherworld.
Like the blue ionization coming out of the building?
Is that what
awesome.
That's supposed to be?
Hold on. The game's over, but I could still play. Is there any radiation out here yet? No? Man, I'm fine. Can I go inside?
You are behind buildings, so you wouldn't actually get that much, comparatively. The real hazard would be the bits of core that's going to be in the air.
Do this? Get past all the rubble. Open the door, it's fine. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God, there's so much radiation in here. Okay. And he leaves the Geiger counter out there. Oh, I fell.
Yeah, this was pretty silly. But hey, it's cool that there's a game that exists that gets people curious about nuclear engineering and nuclear power plants. Was it accurate? No, but it's cool that something like this exists. Thanks so much for the recommendation, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.